Hello, welcome to the program. I'm Lana Kay. Well, have you been thinking life would be a whole lot easier if you had some assistance around your home? Well, help is on the way. Please meet our guest, Beth Steel. Welcome to the program, Beth.
Thanks, Lana. It's so good to be here.
Beth is the proud owner of First Light Home Care, and she'll tell us how long she's owned this great facility and what it can do for us.
Absolutely. Well, we opened our doors about a year ago, May, and we have an office in Crestview Hills. And our business is really all about helping people live their lives the way they want to live them. And that usually means they want to live independently in their own homes. And what we can do is bring caregivers in to help them with things that many of us take for granted every day. So whether it's preparing a meal, helping them keep the house cleaned up, or it can be even as intensive, helping them get out of bed, help them bathe, dress, and help them eat if they have to.
Now, I see Beth at another meeting, and she's even said that I guess our best way to tell our viewers what you can do for them is to call you, because you said some people need as little as groceries. It just all depends on your situation.
Absolutely.
So when we said some people need a little help and some people need a whole lot of help, you cover that spectrum.
Yes, we have some clients that we see once a month, and we'll come in and prepare several weeks of food for them that they put in the freezer.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Or we'll do cleaning, and then I have actually a client right now that's 24/7. So it really runs the gamut, and we're really flexible to work with whatever works for the person in their budget.
Mm-hmm. So this is a wonderful, wonderful healthcare system, and I'm so glad to have her with us today. Now, many of us worry about aging well. We don't really mind aging, as long as we feel good while it's happening.
Right.
So Beth is here to give us tips how to help us along the way. And she will dispel a lot of myths that we've grown up with and believed. The first one, Beth, tell us about aging and longevity.
Well, it used to be, we grew up and people told us that we were going to live as long as our parents did. Genetics really played the biggest role in how long we would live. But today's thinking is that really as we get older, your lifestyle and your behavior really plays a bigger role. And what that means is you have more control over how you will age and how well you age.
Mm-hmm. So we're not following the myth of if your grandma died at 65, you're going down at 65.
Right.
They have proven that is just not true.
It's not necessarily true, no.
Right. So what the expected life expectancy is around 85. And here's a lady with her family who is an 85-year-old senior.
It shows several generations of her family
Mm-hmm.
all at once.
And there she is. Now this is what's possible.
Yeah, and so she said 85, and really what's possible and what this picture is amazing. This woman lived to be 122 and a half, really, which is almost another 40 years beyond what our life expectancy is. She lived in France, and she had a great long life.
Yes, Louisa, let's see, this is Jeannie Louisa Calmet. And what a lady, and I mean, she's looking good. She looks like a lot of 80-year-olds,
She does.
at 122. So that is an amazing story. So Beth, I guess we can start with how we eat.
Yes.
Is so important. So give us some
Absolutely.
tips.
Okay, well, I'm unfortunately not going to give you anything that you've probably not heard before, but I'm going to
That's
try
okay.
to reiterate.
Okay.
Really, it's all about, as you get older, your body needs fewer calories than you used to, unfortunately. People like me like to eat, but I have to cut back. But the most important thing is look at your plate, and truly, more than half of your plate should be fruits and vegetables.
Okay.
And when you look at those fruits and vegetables, they should be different colors of the rainbow.
Okay.
If they're all green, not necessarily great. If they're all, white, whatever, you want to have a variety of colors.
Mm-hmm.
And when you get a color, you also want to make sure it's the darkest color possible. Because, for example, if you get iceberg lettuce, which is a very light green, or a romaine that's a very dark green, that romaine will have more nutrients in it. And so for the amount of energy you're using to eat, you might as well get something that's going to give you more nutrients.
Right, so we go for the darker the better.
Yes.
In most cases. Okay, that's
Yes.
great.
And then, of course, it's important to get some oily fish into your diet a couple times a week. That's shown to really help you with your memory and cognition,
Really?
which is really important, obviously, as we get older. And we want to limit our red meats. Again, not new news. You want to cut that back as much as you can, and really try to get as many whole grains into your diet as possible.
And when we say whole grains, we just that's sort of a blanket statement. So tell us whole grains. So be specific.
Okay.
What whole grains?
Oh, no, I need to go back to it. It would be breads that are whole grain. Make sure it says whole grain on it.
Right.
There's a lot of different fruits and vegetables that offer more grains in them, and so you want to make sure you're selecting those.
Now, those are high fiber usually, and that's
yes.
also a good thing.
Absolutely. Fiber is very important to help things running correctly in your body.
Okay, now did we talk about the dairy products that we're trying for low fat?
Yeah,
Did
we want to go
mention
low
it?
fat. No, we did not talk about that, but dairy is important to keep in your system because you want to keep calcium in your body so that you keep your bones strong.
Right.
So you want to do that. And another thing that's really important is dehydration. As you age, it's really important that you keep drinking fluids.
Okay.
For a variety of reasons. You know, I think as we age, things start to not taste as good. And so we kind of forget to do it. And with water especially, it doesn't have to be water, it could be broth or it could be any kind of clear liquid. Make sure that you're drinking that throughout the day. If you don't, there's a couple of bad things that can happen. Number one, it can cause your medications to not work the way that they should.
Okay.
When they formulate medications, they assume that you're going to have a certain amount of fluid in your body. So make sure you're doing that. It can also make you feel bad. So if you're feeling dizzy, feeling weak, it can be because you're not hydrating yourself enough.
You're not drinking enough.
Yep.
So older people drink.
Yes.
Okay, our muscles and bones. This
Okay.
is our structure. This is what I am now really concentrating on. I broke my femur last fall.
That's right.
So, and Beth had to hear all about that. So tell us, Beth, it was the worst thing I've ever been through. But now we're going to find out how to prevent that. So
Absolutely.
muscles and bones, Beth.
Okay, well that's one of the key things that I encourage people to do is to keep their muscle strength up. Because a fall, like that first fall, tends to be the start of further decline and faster decline.
Don't say that,
So
Beth.
I'm sorry, not for you necessarily.
That's right.
If you fall and break your hip, I mean, that you hear people fall and break their hip, and usually that begins like further.
The beginning of the end.
Yes.
Yes.
So keep yourself strong, and really it's simple. Go out and walk a few times a week. Go out and dance. We have a friend, Holly, who loves to dance and teaches dance classes. Do that. Get yourself out there and keep yourself active. You have a great story about the woman who just swam from Florida to Cuba.
Yes.
So, you know, it's like keeping yourself
active
and
and go for it. And you're not too old to try something, you know, that maybe you challenge yourself. Maybe you've never done that before. Dancing, they just had on, this was on World News, is great for dementia because you are thinking. You also have to think if you're doing steps, you know, you have to think about it and you're moving. So they said dance, great for dementia.
Yes, it's never too late
And fun,
to start.
and fun,
Yes.
something fun. Try
If
to,
you get bored doing walking and the
Right,
jogging,
the regular.
find something fun that you like
music
to do.
is going and you're
Yes.
just feeling great. So there's a good one in dancing.
Yes. and
So lose it or use it.
that's right.
Okay, now, cognitive changes, Beth.
Okay. Well, it's very natural as we age that our ability to process and retrieve information slows. And many of us think that's the onset of dementia or Alzheimer's, and it can be. So, you know, it could be. But for most of us, it's really part of the normal aging process. And so you have to kind of give yourself a break on that.
Okay.
But you can also help yourself and do things like make a list. You know,
Yes.
I'm not even 50 yet, but I make lists every day. Because
Right.
my life is so busy and I can't remember things. So help yourself
Okay.
doing that. Make sure that we are learning new things. It kind of builds upon what we were just talking about. Do that crossword puzzle that's in the paper. Do word search puzzles. You know, learn a new game. Do things to keep your mind active.
Even puzzle.
Yes.
Even working a puzzle. You know, I see older people a lot of times working on puzzles. Learn the new skills. Like you said, this is a great time if you're in retirement to do the things that you could never do when you were working. I have found, you know, not working to be, if you fill your time correctly, it's some of the most enjoyable time because I don't have to get up and make that drive and appear and be all dressed at a certain time every day after day after day. You now have time to do, you know, your loves and learn something new. So, and like we said, on the news, it was Diana Nyad who swam the channel, and she's 64, and she said, you know, just go for it, baby boomers.
Absolutely.
You know, nothing's impossible.
I was also going to add, you know, here we're really lucky in this part of town where we have a lot of great senior centers. And if you have not gone out to see your local senior center, do, because they are so fun. Every one of them in the area has a different personality. Kind
Yes.
of, they're run by different people. They have different activities. So if you've been to one and didn't like it, go to another one.
Yes.
They have lots of different physical activities, exercise activities. They bring in people like myself to do speaking engagements and do educational speaking. Just lots of neat opportunities.
And you're getting your friendships.
Yes, you get to continue to be involved with the community and getting
Yes,
involved with
lots of
others.
people find themselves alone, you know, through deaths or divorce, and there is a great place to unite with people in your age bracket. Many times they're just great places. I'm with Beth.
Yeah.
You know, don't forget to search them out. So we talked about keeping a calendar, crossword puzzles, reading, playing cards.
That's big.
Great times in playing cards.
Yep.
Now we talked about sidestep falls.
Yes, keep yourself from falling.
So we're going to walk. We're going to do weight-bearing exercises too.
Yes,
They
yes.
know that helps us. The calcium then flows better. Everything works better when we're putting a little stress on those muscles.
Absolutely. And the other thing I would say too in that area, go through your home. Many of us have lived in our homes for a long time, and we forget about those little things that can cause you to trip. You might have a hole in your carpet. You might have a throw rug that's slippery, and you've just kind of gotten used to it, and you've learned how to step on it correctly. Have some
But one day you may go flying.
Take it wrong,
You may
yes.
go flying.
So if you've been there so long and you're not sure, there's people like myself who are happy to come in and do an analysis for free just to help you stay safe. Because often if we haven't lived there, things pop out to us really quickly. Like, you might want to watch out for that little carpet. You might want to watch out for that. You might want to add some lights in this area to keep it a little, easier to see where you're at.
That is so important because, Beth, we do become used to our environment.
We do.
And we don't see it. Like you said, we're sidestepping everything, but the day may come when that corner was too dark. And, you either ran into the wall or, fell down or who knows.
Absolutely.
And
That's my mother just the other day. I was talking about reaching for things. She got on a chair because she didn't want to get out the step ladder, and she was reaching for something in the kitchen, and she fell off the chair, and she injured her wrist really badly. So you got to, I keep telling Mom, you have to step back. You're not, 50 anymore. You're not 25 anymore. You need to be extra careful when you're doing that. And if you have any risk or any fear of falling, please ask somebody to come and help you.
yes, before you attempt it.
Yes.
The prevention is the thing.
Yes, you wanna keep
know
your
your limitations, and things have changed.
Yes, keep your independence. I mean, truly, your ego needs to go out the door. This is all about helping you keep yourself safe so you can stay independent and you can make those decisions for yourself.
That is so important, Beth. So we have talked about clear the floors lighting. Now, now we have to get to the part that some seniors are not going to like. We have to toast with smaller glasses.
Yes, so if you're one of those people that enjoys a nice glass of wine here or there, I know I'm one of those people. As we age, it's okay to continue to do that, but we have to cut back how much we drink. And for many of you, this may be shocking to hear what it is, but for men, that would mean about a glass a day. And for women, it's about a half a glass a day. So that's not very much.
No, it's not. So we're not able to metabolize as well?
That's part of it, but some of it is also, many of us are on medications, and it will interact with those medications. So we have to be really careful about that.
Okay.
It can also lead to that dehydration problem we were talking about earlier. If you drink alcohol, that tends to help you eliminate a lot of fluid, and that doesn't help you.
Okay. I'm not on any medication, so I'm thinking that, the doctor's going to tell me a whole glass, since there's no risk.
I hope you're right.
I do too, because if I were on medication, it might be different. Okay, now sleep. Many seniors have trouble falling asleep.
They do, and again, a lot of this can be traced back to medication. So if you're on different medications or you've started a new medication and you're finding yourself not able to sleep, talk to your doctor about it, because it really could be either that specific medication or it could be an interaction with something else you're taking that is causing that. Another thing, though, is a lot of people have been married for a long time, and they've we're talking about getting into habits. We might be sleeping with somebody who snores a lot. And I know I was one of those people for a long time. My husband snored constantly. He slept great. I didn't sleep at all. So I finally insisted that he go get a sleep apnea test done, and it's made a world of difference. So if you're one of those people that's agonizing, staying
Okay,
awake
so
at
then
night,
what did you do? Go to another room, or does he wear an apparatus or something that stops it, or?
yeah, before we got diagnosed, I slept upstairs in the guest room.
Sure.
Now he has an apparatus. It's very small, and it took him a little while to get used to it, but now he's very used to it.
And it really works.
It's amazing.
Oh, that
It
is
amazing.
This is good news.
Yeah, and he feels so much better wearing
Because
it.
he's rested too.
Yes, and it's funny, he kept insisting that he was not tired. I kept saying, aren't you sure?
I think, again, we get into that habit of we don't know if we are or not.
Right, because you felt that way forever.
This has become our way we feel.
Yeah.
So do we need the how much sleep do we need?
You really do need to try to get 7 to 8 hours of sleep. Now, that's a general statement. Some of us can get by with less. I unfortunately am not one of those, but there are people that can get around with 5 or 6 hours sleep.
I have to have 10, Beth.
Well, see, now some people have to have 10.
I really do,
So
to
know your
feel
own
really
body.
good.
Yes, if you're getting up and you're feeling drowsy, there's something wrong. I mean,
Right.
you're not getting that sleep, or it's a medication that's causing it. So again, have a discussion with your doctor about that.
So now we get we get to another part for seniors that I know you've been waiting for. Enjoy safe sex. So
All right, well, as I'm turning
this
red.
this is a little dicey.
Yeah, well, just quickly, we won't talk very long on
Right.
this, but many seniors, unfortunately, they find themselves widowed or alone after many years of being with the same person, and they are fortunate that they do find love with somebody else, and they want, they get to a point where they want to have sex, and it's just really important to remember to practice safe sex. Things change so much in the last 30, 40 years. That you need to just make sure that you're being careful, and that's all I'm going to say about it.
And I did see something on some news program that said the STDs and different things that were coming up in seniors was amazing.
Yes.
So, you just think, well, you've got to be okay and I've got to be okay, and it's not okay. So you might even want to get a test and then be very careful, because it is happening. So, as strange as that seems. How about get a medication check, Beth?
Okay, so we've talked a lot about medications and how they can impact you in different ways. I think a lot of us think that somebody out there is keeping track of all the medications we're taking and will tell us automatically if there's an interaction that can cause a problem. And for some of you, that's probably true. I mean, if you get all of your medications through the same doctor and through the same pharmacy, they will be able to do that for you. But if not, I mean, I know I get some of my prescriptions from the pharmacy. Some of them are mail ordered from my insurance company. I mean, they come from different places. And in those cases, you really need to make sure that you are sitting down with somebody once a year at least to review all of the things you're on, not just prescription medicines, or vitamins and herbal supplements. Have somebody make sure that you're not causing some problem, some interaction in the different things you're taking. And if you're concerned that your doctor doesn't have enough time, your pharmacist will do it. They
Yes.
love to do that. And I didn't even realize
They're
that.
playing a bigger and bigger role in our health care, aren't they,
They
Beth?
really are. 'Cause
They're
more,
valuable.
They're available, and
Right.
they don't charge you.
Right,
So
right.
really, I would encourage you to take advantage of that great resource that's out there. So.
Beth, we're almost out of time.
Oh,
Do you
wow.
have any, it went fast.
It always
do you,
does.
do you have any last words for us?
The only other thing I was going to say real quickly is, as you age, unfortunately, many of us get to a place where we are losing loved ones, we're losing family members and different things. And people can get depressed and very sad. And I just encourage you to keep an eye out for your friends if you see somebody in that state.
That's wonderful.
You don't want them
advice.
to live that way. So,
Right.
if you see somebody suffering, offer some help and
Sure,
just
sure.
try to be that resource for them.
sure. What a great statement, Beth. Well, you have given us valuable information today. Haven't we enjoyed her? You've been listening to Beth Steel. She's First Light Healthcare, and her information will be up at the end of the show. I'm so glad you were with us today. As always, you be happy and keep smiling, and I'll see you soon.